de Phoenix a Boston.
Gotcha. Okay, God bless you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Vale, gusto saludarle. Gracias.
All right, so we said he's going to Phoenix, then he's going to Boston. So we got confirmation, more or less, right? Most of the people here are going around the country to different cities. Most likely the people that came here crossed into the United States illegally from somewhere on most likely the Arizona border, southern Arizona border, particularly the Tucson sector. I think that's probably the #1 border crossings right now in the United States, since Eagle Pass has kind of tightened it down in Texas. People crossing in Texas is plummeting. They're all coming to Tucson sector, which is Nogales, Sassafras, maybe even Lukeville. I'm not sure about Lukeville. Naco. I went to Naco. I went to Bisbee. Went to Douglas. I got videos coming out all there. It's another situation. Seems different though in Naco. That's Cochise County. And I was in Cochise County for a whole day, surveying the area down there all day long, from just west of Nogales all the way to Douglas, really all the way to the New Mexican border. But that whole area, based off the reports that I've seen and the ranchers that I've spoken to, I've interviewed a lot of ranchers off camera because they fear for their safety. They own ranches all over Miracle Valley. If you go south of Miracle Valley, probably from that main road there, Miracle Valley, that goes to Naco, down to the border wall, there's lots of ranches in between. Well, the ranchers who spoke to me off camera have told me that they're coming through, but they're the gotaways. They don't want to be caught. And they're coming through like massively, like almost hundreds a day at different parts of that border wall, which there's really no border patrol out there. And they're coming through in groups, camouflage. They're wearing camouflage. They're wearing backpacks. They're wearing dark clothing, and they're blending in through the ranches. And they go work their way up to the main road there in Miracle Valley, and either get picked up or continue their journey. But they don't want to be caught. So if they do get caught, those are the ones that most likely will probably be deported back. I can't see how they can be processed at a border patrol station and then come to something like this, a hotel. But yeah, this is the Ramada Inn. So we've got a confirmation of people here that are going to cities throughout the United States. And as you know, on JLR Investigates, we never be disrespectful to anyone that we've encountered. We don't cause no trouble. We're just here documenting and talking and trying to get an understanding of this entire process. We're trying to understand what's going on, how this all works, what's going on with the hotels, what's going on with the NGOs, what's going on with everything. So I'm going to spin the camera back around, but now we have confirmation. We have a visual. We have the signs here that are blacked off. So somebody just said, JLR, we show more of the New Mexico.
If you're a small YouTuber with less than 1,000 subscribers, do not skip this ad. I want to show you something that can help you get more views and make more YouTube.
Which I went to, which was it from Douglas, Arizona to Antelope Wells. If you were going to do Mexico, I could have took dirt roads from Douglas, Arizona, all the way to, I don't know if you could get to Antelope Wells. You could definitely get into New Mexico on that southern part, going directly east from Douglas. But that would have took so much longer. But to get from Douglas, Arizona to Antelope Wells, New Mexico, you have to go north, then you have to go east, then you have to go south. It's a 2.5 hour swing. And it's literally out. That could be the most remote place I've ever been to in my life. More remote than Area 51 area or other areas in Utah when I was covering Dillon Rounds way out there. That area was very remote. So you got Antelope Wells. I looked up. You also have Columbus, New Mexico. Didn't get that far to that port of entry. And then you got, I think, over by El Paso. I think there's 3, at least 2 ports of entry. There's not many ports of entry. Now, I saw personally in Antelope Wells, just east of Antelope Wells, the border wall comes to a complete end. From that point, it's more or less just barbed wire. Maybe it's not even barbed wire. There's no border wall about a mile east of Antelope Wells, and it probably goes all the way close to Columbus, and then, you know, these ports of entry. See, it's what's strange about these entire border is these ports of entry. There's somebody right there. What's strange about these ports of entry is these border walls or the barriers, whatever you want to call it, they're always at the ports of entry, in the major ports of entry. And they expand out about 5 to 10 miles to the east and west of these ports of entries. But once you go outside these ports of entry, then the border walls start going away. They either go up to a mountain and they stop at a mountain, or they turn into barriers, like smaller barriers, those kind of cross barriers that are only this high, like 3 feet high, or barbed wire fences. So, you know, if you're really serious about securing the border, you need to get an actual border wall doing the entire border. Just look at Hukumbo, right? Same thing. There's border wall there, and it stops at the mountain, and the cartels drop people off at the edge of the mountain where the border wall ends, and they just walk right in. But that's what I've been seeing in Nogales, just south of here in Nogales, right? Border wall, double barrier. But if you go east, Nogales, and go right by Keno Springs, border wall comes to an end. It just turns into barbed wire. Goes all the way to basically Naco, or that mountain pass, the Montezino Pass or something like that. That pass right there west of Naco. That's where the border wall starts again. Then it goes all the way, you know, border wall goes to Naco, all the way to Douglas, and then east of Douglas disappears. It disappears. So, you know, it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. Lukeville has a border wall. I was considering going down to Lukeville today, but I think the situation in Lukeville has been contained in that right now. According to, I know a grassroots journalist that's been down there. He has great stuff. His name is Jeff. I don't know if you guys know this guy. He's been out there for months out there documenting he pretty much documents everything that came out of Lukeville. A lot of the videos that you've seen of Lukeville are his. But he's been down there, and I corresponded. What's going on here? What's this? Gray Lines, Arizona. But he said it's quiet right now, I believe. And plus, the border road there is kind of closed, so it's hard to get to Lukeville and be on the actual border. Possibly somebody being picked up. We will see. See if anyone gets in the bus. I'm just going to sit here a minute and see if anyone gets in the bus. Probably taking them to the airport. You're right. That looked like a airport like transport van to the airport. The airport is right here. This is Tucson Airport. This is on Julian. This is the Ramada Inn that's shut down. Probably stop here multiple times a day. This hotel looks like it holds a few hundred. I don't know how many rooms. If anyone could look up how many rooms are here, I would safe to say it's probably full. Oh, look. What do we got? So as we wait and see what happens here, if anything at all, I'm just curious to see what happens here. So I'm just being patient, folks. JLR investigates. I am at the Ramada Inn, outside the Ramada Inn in Tucson, Arizona. Doesn't look like anything happened. Very, very interesting, folks. I waved to the driver. The driver did not wave back. I usually wave to everybody. Regardless of who coming in, I just wave. Sometimes I wave, sometimes I don't. Sometimes people are friendly. We know we're always friendly on JLR Investigates. People that are just jumping on. This entire hotel is holding migrants that came into the country illegally are staying at this hotel. We just spoke to a few of them, broken English, very nice people that we spoke to there. And they said that they're going to cities. One said Boston. Where was the other guy? Where was the French guy going? $172 rooms. Thanks for sharing that information. New York. Oh, yeah. He said New York, right? So you got New York and Boston. Before I came on live, there was a van that unloaded. I was trying to race and get this live. All right, so just I'm just gonna sit here and talk. Oh, look, what's going on? People are coming out. What's going on? Backpacks. All right, somebody just left. 2 people just left, and they're going out that way. We'll see what's going on. But let me just tell you real quick what JLR is up to. On my way to Jacumba Springs. A lot of things are going on in Jacumba. That's what we see over here. I'm gonna go over here. Jacumba Springs. I'm going to Jacumba Springs. I'll be up there. That's a major place where people from the other side of the world are coming in. China, Middle East, Turkey. Oh, here we go. So the hotel is back there. The hotel entrance is right over here. Another thing I've noticed a lot where they have these hotels specifically for migrants is they're always tucked away far in the cut, or they either have fencing that, you know, the 6 foot high fencing that's all tarped up, windows all tarped up, or back in the back of areas. See, there's signs here actually that say here, no trespassing, no trespassing. Like literally on that road up there that say this area. This could be corporate center property. I'm on a public easement here right on the side of the road. But all around the particular facility, these signs that say no trespassing, no trespassing, no trespassing, which is very interesting too. But this is it. If you guys want to come investigate or look, just report that I am in front of the McDonald's on Greenwich. All right, so let me know what you think. You guys got an idea. I'm going to cover more. Check out my videos. I'm posting the Sassabee video coming out shortly, and also the aerial footage from the border wall, going down the border wall from an airplane, which was amazing stuff. So you guys get to see that. So we'll talk soon. Share this video out. Sub to the channel. Like it. Notification button. JLR Investigates. Ramada Inn, Tucson Airport. Julian. There's I-10 right there. I-10 right there. We'll talk soon, everyone. JLR Investigates. And if you just jumped on, reverse this. I talked to a couple people outside and trying to get an understanding of what's going on. We'll talk soon.
What happened when you tried to go upstairs to the board meeting?
The security guard won't let me up. He just stands at the bottom of the stairs like this.
Politicians don't always like to hear from the public, but some South suburban residents say controversial supervisor and mayor Tiffany Henyard has gone too far.
Yeah, they say she took extraordinary, potentially illegal measures to prevent them from speaking at a public meeting. Dame Placo has more.
The sign outside its headquarters says, "Welcome to Thornton Township, people working with people." But when residents showed up last night to speak at a public board meeting, they got anything but a warm welcome.
When I arrived, there was security here. He was standing at the bottom of the stairs, preventing anybody from going up to the boardroom. I asked him if the meeting was downstairs. He replied yes.
Stephanie Wiedemann and a handful of other residents wanted to speak directly to Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, also the mayor of Dalton, who's generated controversy for spending hundreds of thousands of tax dollars on trips, police security, billboards, and her own personal charity.
I'm just curious to see who makes the decisions about how our tax dollars are being spent.
But they never got that chance. After being blocked from going to the boardroom upstairs, they were sent to the basement where they were told the township board meeting would be held. It wasn't. They asked for a sign-up sheet for public comment, never got it. And before they knew what had happened, the 4-minute meeting upstairs was over, and Henyard was gone, without hearing from her constituents.
They are violating our rights. I pay taxes here. I have a right to get up and speak, whether this administration likes it or not.
And not only were the residents shut out, so was a local newspaper reporter who came here to cover the meeting.
I was told by a security guard that I was not allowed upstairs where the boardroom meeting is.
Josh Bootsma of the Lansing Journal says residents deserve to know how elected officials are spending their money.
Thornton Township is the largest township in Illinois. And so there are a lot of people that are affected by the decisions, the financial decisions that this township makes.
Even Thornton Township trustee Chris Gonzalez, a frequent Henyard critic, was ordered out of the boardroom until the meeting began. Do you think any laws were broken last night by the way they handled the public?
Well, definitely. I mean, if somebody wants to speak, it's a public meeting, it's a public building. They should be able to come in.
The residents say they'll file a complaint with the Illinois Attorney General's office for violating the Open Meetings Act. Our attempts to contact Henyard also went nowhere. In South Holland, Dane Placo, Fox 32 Chicago.
First off, if you haven't made money with AI yet, don't worry. AI is the biggest wealth building opportunity in US history. I'm James Altucher. If you don't already know me, nobody ever believes my predictions when I first make them until they come true. Like in 2007, I went on CNBC. Facebook was being valued at $1 billion then. And I said, no, it should be worth $100 billion. They laughed me out of the studio. But then when Facebook IPO'd a few years later and it was valued at $100 billion at the moment of IPO, CNBC had me back on and they actually apologized. They laughed at me again in 2013. I went on CNBC. I predicted the success of Bitcoin when it traded at just $114. Well, Bitcoin has gone up quite a bit since then. They're probably laughing at me right now because I'm making this prediction. But obviously, AI is going to have a huge effect on the economy. So it's not as bold a prediction, I guess, although the way I approach it is very different. And again, AI is probably going to add about $15.7 trillion to the US economy. That's the real effect of this. And every one of those dollars is going to be, someone is going to benefit. Someone's going to have one of those extra $15 trillion. And this is not from what I call AI 1.0, where you invest in Microsoft or NVIDIA, the chip maker, or some of these companies that you've already read about a million times on the front page of the newspaper. This is what I call AI 2.0. And it's going to be the biggest wealth building opportunity that I've ever seen in my life, and probably the biggest wealth building opportunity over the past 150 years. This rare wealth window is about to open that will allow everyday people to get in on, again, this $15.7 trillion AI super boom. And look, there's all these gurus out there who are saying, oh, you can make $1 million with AI if you figure out what products to sell and make your own videos, blah, 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 make Instagram accounts go by. No, you're not going to make money that way. They're going to make money that way. Trust me, they didn't even know what AI was 2 years ago, but I know what I'm talking about. I've written a bunch of books on business investing and entrepreneurship and books on other topics. But back in 1987 was when I wrote my first AI program. It was through a grant that was given to me by the National Science Foundation. Then I wrote an academic paper about AI when I went to graduate school. And look, on my podcast, which has had over 40 million downloads, I've had a ton of AI experts over the years, had a lot of entrepreneurs, billionaires, but really a lot of AI people, because I grew up doing this stuff. And even as a hedge fund manager, I programmed my own, AI quant investing tool to help me pick stocks because I wanted to take the emotions out of it. And again, I know what I'm talking about. I know how all of this AI works. I want you to take this prediction seriously, or at least listen to it. Again, the next generation of AI will create the biggest wealth building opportunity in US history. And it's here today, right now. More AI 2.0 is hitting the market every day. And just like when I was so excited about and predicted the success of Bitcoin, and earlier than that, Facebook, anyone who listens to me today and invests in the right kind of AI 2.0 could dramatically improve their financial situation. This AI world is developing incredibly fast. Right now, it's important to know what I'm talking about, what AI 2.0 is. So I want to give you my blueprint for investing in AI 2.0. And again, I've been writing about investing for 20 years. I wrote for the Financial Times, Yahoo Finance, Forbes, the Wall Street Journal, thestreet.com. I love writing about this stuff, sharing ideas, and building community around these ideas. So I want to give you a blueprint for my 3 best strategies for getting in on this technology super boom. I explain everything in a short presentation that I just released. It's free to watch. Just click the button below this video now. This wealth window will only be open for a brief moment, so don't wait. Click the button below now to watch my free video with all the details.
Do you have an account on YouTube? If so, you could be claiming up to $800 a week in digital residuals thanks to YouTube's new program. You see, when other YouTubers that have monetized YouTube videos actually make money, a small percentage of those profits actually get stuck inside of other people's YouTube accounts, including yours. And it's thanks to YouTube's new digital residuals program that normal, everyday, hardworking Americans can now start to claim access to this money that they have been previously owed. And it's actually through this new digital residuals program that I became a multimillionaire at the age of 24 since first discovering this program back in 2020. Well, that's obviously amazing, and I'm super proud of that. What I'm more proud of is the 4,000 normal, everyday, hardworking Americans that I've taught how to get access to this exact same digital residuals program and use it to achieve a life of real financial freedom and take the very first steps to retiring themselves, retiring their loved ones at an early age. Because right now, with all of the financial craziness going on in America, it's never been more important to have additional automated sources of income that can protect yourself and your loved ones against all the craziness that's going on. So if you've been looking for a safe, dependable way of adding a second income stream to yourself, you are in luck, because I just put together a free case study video that not only breaks down exactly how this program works, but also gives you the step-by-step blueprint to actually getting started with it and actually making your very first dollar in YouTube digital residuals. Best of all, this does not require any previous experience, any techie skills, and you can get started with almost no investments required. All you have to do is click on the link around this video, enter in your name, your email, and you can start watching the free case study video right away. And during this case study, not a single stone is going to be left unturned. You are literally going to see live, undeniable proof right in front of your eyes that number one, this program is the real deal. Number two, that normal, everyday, hardworking Americans are tapping into it just like you can potentially be. So all you have to do, again, is click on the link around this video, fill in your name, your email, start watching the case study, and I promise you, it's going to be amazing.
Thank everybody for being here today. I'm joined by General Seltzer and the Board Czar, Mike Banks. I want to explain to you what Texas is doing at this time to expand our border security capabilities. We are building a new Texas Military Department base camp that allows the Texas National Guard to increase and to improve operations in this area. What you see now is the first stage of construction has already begun on what is 80 acres of an area to be built out for this base camp. From your camera view, it goes all the way down the edge of here to those trees, all the way to the back, close to where the river is. On this side, just back behind you, about 50 feet is where it stops. This will increase the ability for a larger number of Texas Military Department personnel in Eagle Pass to operate more effectively and more efficiently. It will house up to 1,800 soldiers with the ability to expand up to 2,300 if we have surge needs. It will include individual rooms for soldiers. It'll provide a large dining facility, recreation, computers, things like Wi-Fi. But for now, National Guard have been scattered across this entire region in cramped quarters, away from fellow soldiers and guard, sometimes traveling long distances to be able to do their job. What this is going to do is to dramatically improve the conditions for our soldiers. I want to thank the men and women soldiers behind me right now, as well as their colleagues serving up and down the entire border. Texas would not be able to respond the way that we are responding if it were not for the heroes of the Texas National Guard. Before this effort here, they've been living in conditions that were atypical for military operations. Now, because of the magnitude of what we're doing, because of the need to sustain and actually expand our efforts of what we're doing, it's essential that we build this base camp for these soldiers. It's going to be good for them, improve living conditions, improve the quality of life, and improve and sustain a very strong morale for our soldiers. What this will do, also a little bit more specifically, is going to consolidate our forces. Again, as opposed to being scattered around many different places across this region, they will be operating out of one place. It will amass a large army in a very strategic area. It will increase the speed and flexibility of the Texas National Guard to be able to respond to crossings. We all know what's been going on at Shelby Park. Actually, what's going on in Shelby Park is now less than what was happening a month ago or 2 months ago or a year ago, definitely. But what we need to be able to do, and that is to make sure that the National Guard has the flexibility and the proximity to any type of crossings north or south of Shelby Park, so that they will be able to move swiftly to those locations and be able to impede the ability for anybody to cross illegally. This will organize substantial forces also to expand the razor wire barriers that are going up. In this area, listen, we've seen the effectiveness of the razor wire in Shelby Park, where crossings have gone from 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 people a day to less than 1% of that crossing illegally per day. And that's because of the effectiveness of the razor wire. Our goal is to make sure that we expand the effectiveness of that razor wire to more areas along this border. Having the soldiers located right here, right by the river, they're going to have the ability to more quickly be able to construct that razor wire barrier.
Injured in a car wreck, no matter where, no matter when. If you have a phone, call us. We can help, and remember, if you can't come to us, we can come to you. Injured in a car wreck, just search Frank Azar and call.
And this will reduce the travel time and costs of current living conditions. Listen, as I pointed out earlier, some people who are in the Guard, they may be 50 miles away, an hour away, having to take an hour of their time to get here, and then an hour of the time to get back home, meaning that basically they have not 24 hours in a day, they have 22 hours in a day, plus 2 hours of travel time. We're going to make their lives better, but also make the National Guard more efficient by having them right here at the scene where they need to be or close to where they need to be. And I want to assure you, and the general can expand upon this in more detail, the cost of this project are going to be minimal. The reason for that is, yes, it's going to cost some money to be able to build this out, but when this is built out, there will be a reduction of the costs that is being incurred already. What's being incurred already in all these hotel rooms and other locations where the Guard are staying is going to be more expensive per person than what it's going to cost to house the Guard here. And so this will improve the quality of conditions and lower the cost of those conditions. So this is going to be a win-win for the National Guard and for the state of Texas. And the last thing I'll say is that the efforts of the National Guard, they're working. Those aren't just my words. Those are the words of experts who have analyzed the data of what's happening on the border here. And they are saying that the resistance that the Texas National Guard has provided is ensuring that there is a reduced number of people crossing the border. So illegal crossings are down, and coincidentally, razor wire barrier is up. And we will continue to muster the efforts that are needed to make sure that Texas does the job that the United States Congress has mandated. The United States Congress has mandated for barriers to be built on the border. Biden is not building those barriers. Texas, however, is doing the job that Congress has mandated in law. And for that, I want to express my gratitude to the Texas National Guard for stepping up and getting that job done. Now I'm going to call up the Adjutant General, General Seltzer.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, the governor is employing every available resource and strategy as he executes his known right to protect and defend the borders of Texas. What I want to say, first of all, is this is an expansion of what we're seeing from the Shelby Park events. We've shut down Shelby Park. This base that we're setting up here, Forward Operating Base Eagle, is an 80-acre complex that extends along the water in the Rio Grande and is situated about 6 miles south of Shelby Park. This base camp allows for the housing of 1,800 troops. As the governor has said, these troops will be housed in their own individual rooms with a minimum of 1,800 square feet of space. There will also be a surge capability for an additional 500 troops. Should we need to deploy the Texas Tactical Border Force to this area, we can deploy and house them right here on the border. In support of our troops, there will be facilities like a 700-seat dining facility. There will be weight and cardio center, a recreation center, and laundry facilities. To take care of our troops, there will be facilities where we can house our medical, psychological health, and also our chaplaincy programs. And for operations, we'll have 3 command posts on site. We'll have weapons storage rooms, vehicle maintenance bays, and also a FAA regulation helipad. But these are not the only operations that we're expanding under the governor's orders. In the coming weeks, we'll be executing a 4-phased operation to expand north and south of Eagle Pass, putting up additional barriers in order to fortify the border, as the governor has said, to the south and north of Eagle Pass. Additionally, we are adding 3 more fan boats to the river. We're also expanding our drone program and our radar truck capabilities. Again, thank you, Governor, for your leadership. The governor, the Texas Military Department, and the Texas Department of Public Safety, again, is using all available resources and strategy to protect the state of Texas. Thank you, Governor.
And now the Texas borders are my banks.
Good afternoon. I think the key thing you want to take away from this is that what we're doing by building this is we're providing a better quality of life for the soldiers. We're doing it, saving the taxpayers of Texas at the same time, while ensuring that we become even more efficient by having more time on target with these soldiers. So I want to talk about that. And then I want to talk about the numbers just for a minute. All right. Prior to coming on, as many of you've heard, I spent many years in the Border Patrol, well over 23 years. And if you would have told me that Texas was going to be able to achieve what they've achieved just in the last year alone, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have believed it myself, right? Even knowing what my capabilities are. But the very fact that you look at one sector in Tucson, Arizona, and every day for the last month and a half, that sector has out-apprehended and had more crossings than the entire state of Texas, right? If you look at 3,000 to 5,000, there was a single day when there was over 6,000 people that came through that border right there in Eagle Pass. And to see those numbers decrease the way they have, at the significant number they have, to where we've gone to 1% of what was crossing a month and a half, 2 months ago, I think it's phenomenal. It's a testament to what these soldiers are doing, what DPS is doing, and achieving what the governor has set out for us to achieve. And so I think what you're going to see is we're doing what you call gain, maintain, and expand. We've gained control of this area. Now we're going to maintain that control as we continue to expand those operations to bring that same level of reduction across the border in the state of Texas. And Governor, I applaud you for your leadership and the moral courage to stand up and do what this administration is not doing. It's just absolutely absurd to believe that we have to fight the federal government daily. You know, so it's either do the job that you've been mandated by Congress to do as the federal government, or just get out of the way and let us get it done, because Texas is going to protect Texas. And I thank you for that, Governor.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong. In fact, this is the first of 3 major credit score lies you're being told by the big credit companies. Fall for any of these 3 lies, and it doesn't matter what you do. Getting to 720 and above will be a long, hard struggle, if you ever get there at all. In fact, if you're one of the 153 million Americans with a credit score below 720, it's probably because you've unknowingly fallen for one or more of these 3 deadly lies that the big credit companies want you to believe. Not only are these lies flat out wrong, and not only do they make it nearly impossible to get a great credit score, but in many cases, fall for them, and they'll send your score spiraling in the wrong direction. Because during 5 long years working inside the credit industry, I saw countless Americans get taken advantage of by the billion-dollar banks and credit card companies, which is why right now I'm going to expose these 3 dangerous lies, tell you exactly what to do instead, and finally show you the proven, little-known, and 100% legal trick I discovered when working in the credit industry. This trick can raise your scores
Thank you to Mike Banks, the Texas border czar, who, as you all know, and he just said he served in the Border Patrol for 23 years. But the point I want to make is just during his time here today, he has spent more time on the border as border czar of Texas than Kamala Harris, the federal border czar, has spent on the border in Texas. Last thing is, once again, I want to express my gratitude to General Seltzer and the Texas National Guard for going above and beyond to make sure that they are showing the way that Texas will defend itself from the lawlessness that's been created by Joe Biden's refusal to follow the laws of the United States Congress and secure our border. I'll take a few questions.
With the decline in crossings, why do you think this base is necessary?
Listen, we have been successful in reducing crossings in Shelby Park. One thing that we know is the cartels and the migrants will explore areas both north and south of that park. If we don't maintain and expand our defense, those migrants and the cartels will exploit those openings. We want to ensure that we deny the exploitation of those openings. Second is, as we all know, come springtime, there's going to be additional caravans that are making their way through the southern and central part of Mexico, deciding where they are going to be going. We want to make sure that when they come to the crossroad about are they going to go to Texas, or are they going to go elsewhere, they will know the wrong place to go is the state of Texas.
You credit the razor wire for the decline. You don't think Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's meeting with Mexico had anything to do with that?
Of course not, because as everyone knows, it's not Mexico who controls the border. It's the cartels who control the border. The cartels operate completely independently, and they'll do whatever they want to do. If they want to cross, they'll cross, regardless of what the leadership in Mexico says. And because the cartels have realized they're having a harder time making money, facing the resistance in Texas, when there are gaping openings in Arizona, New Mexico, as well as California. And so, as is typical of almost any human being, if there's an easier way to get the same thing done, they're going to choose the path of least resistance. The cartels are choosing the path of least resistance.
So, but isn't in Mexico, when you go to Mexico, I was in Mexico the 2 last days, there are checkpoints all over right now, and if they see any migrants without papers, they just, send them or they deport them to the border with Guatemala. So if you go to Tierras Negras, you don't see many migrants anymore because they would be deported. And at the same time, the water level, the flow of water in the Rio Grande is 10 times as high as it was in December. So it's not possible to wade through it anymore. And it's not even possible to swim through anymore. So is it in reality, your barbed wires and your troops that deter the migrants from coming? Or is it rather, the Mexican, change of policy and that very high water level in the Rio Grande?
So you said something that's just totally false. What you said is that the only people who are allowed to be coming through Mexico to cross the border illegally are those with papers. There's no one crossing the water with papers that allow them to get in here. That's just completely false. Also, with regard to the water level, listen, in the Eagle Pass area, the water level almost always, especially in Shelby Park, is deep enough that you're always going to have to swim to get across the river there. In times before, when people had to swim across that area, again, you would have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people crossing there until Shelby Park was wired up. And again, I can just repeat myself, and that is decisions are being made to cross in states other than Texas because Texas has fortified a barrier that discourages crossing in this area.
Governor, we've heard that Eagle Pass, and specifically the crossings in Eagle Pass, have gone down from the record number that we saw at the end of last year. I know Shelby Park has been a big epicenter focal point for you all, but with the upcoming Eclipse. I know that the city had planned to use it for a festival, millions of dollars put into it. Have there been any discussions with the city about the possibility of the park going back to the city if the crossings stay as low as they are?
Right. Not that I know of.
Two more questions.
The activists from Eagle Pass is saying that Shelby Park had to be open because they pay taxes from there. What's your response to that?
So I've been down in Shelby Park several times in the past 10 days. And it is wired shut from illegal immigrants crossing. But every single time that I've been there, I've been through the areas on both sides of the bridge that have a golf course. And there have been golfers out golfing on that golf course, being able to use the park for the purpose for which it was intended.
Last question.
Governor Abbott, how will you ensure that the state will keep National Guard troops safe, not being stretched too thin? And over the last few months, there's been reports that have shown at least 2 guardsmen have committed suicide in Laredo alone. What resources are available as you continue to add personnel?
I will let General Seltzer add more about what resources will be available. But a couple of things about that. One is one thing that this area will be able to do, it will be able to accommodate more National Guard to make sure that we will be able to respond. But as General Seltzer already pointed out, because of the resources that are going to be available at this base, is for one going to improve morale, is going to provide both mental health and physical health care so that where these soldiers are living, they're going to have access to the treatment and camaraderie they need in order to be an even more effective soldier. With regard to the specific strategies addressing mental health, I'll allow General Seltzer to provide that answer.
Yes, thank you for the question. Obviously, every suicide is a tragedy, and especially when it comes inside our Guard family. As the governor has said, consolidation on this base will allow us to consolidate our very robust psychological health program. Between our medical doctors, our chaplains, and our psychological health people, we form a mesh network that works to take care of our soldiers and identify anybody who may be having problems. So again, just reiterating what the governor said, this base is an example of how we can pool our resources to better improve the care for our soldiers and airmen.
Lastly,
Thank you guys. No, sorry. Thank you. No, thank you. We've taken our questions.
Was it going to be completed?
So it's being completed in phases. So by mid-April, we'll have a 300-bed capacity, and then we'll add 300. Basically, the phasing is 300 additional beds every 30 days.
All right, thank y'all.